Hey everybody, this video is a recording that I did with a friend. I was on the phone with a dear friend and we were just talking. We were on the phone for about 2.5 hours and decided to pull up his chart at some point and give him a reading as well as just talk about a lot of the collective things going on astrologically. And so I did some edits and shortened the video and am posting it as an example to let you know what a astrological pep talk goes like when you use that service. If you go to my website, I do offer astrological pep talks where we can have conversations just like I did with my friend here and bring in the astrology with whatever is going on in your life. Please do keep in mind that I was talking to a close and dear friend in this video and smoked a joint right before pulling up his birth chart. So I was definitely stoned during this reading here, but this was just a casual friend to friend connection here. If you book with me professionally, I will not be under the influence of any substance. And with that being said, if you would like to visit my website, starseedsalsa.com, or message me, I would greatly appreciate that. And have a great day, everybody. Peace. The rising sign is your identity, your sense of self. It's how you see yourself, or like the image of yourself you want to embody, and also how others see you too. So the rising sign has a lot to do with your identity. And so the sun sign is the sun sign is our conscious awareness, our self-aware, like a conscious awareness of things. And your sun conjunct your rising sign, that makes for being like really consciously aware around what your identity is, who you are, or what your sense of direction is. And then with Saturn there, that changes the whole frequency on having a sun on your rising sign. That adds this massive weight of feeling like very responsible for a lot of things. Like it's having a serious responsibility, or like feeling like responsible for more than you really need to be. And but it gives you a superpower as well of being very determined to work really hard and push through any barriers. And it's in Leo, and your Venus is in Leo, your Mercury is in Leo, your moon is in Leo. Okay, and then your Chiron is in Mars, your South Node is Taurus 8 degrees, your Jupiter is at Taurus 26 degrees, your Uranus is in Scorpio, and then your Mars is in Virgo. Okay, so let's damn, I'm stoned right now. But so something that happened this year is the sign Pluto entered Aquarius, or last year, I mean, on in 2023. In 2023, Pluto entered Aquarius, and hold on, let me just center myself because I'm like, yep, I lost in the sauce. So Pluto's going into Aquarius, and Aquarius is the opposite sign of Leo. And Pluto, yeah, yes, definitely O. Um, and so Pluto is a really intense planet. Pluto is the planet of death, transformation, and rebirth. Pluto is also a planet of our fears, paranoia, and deep psychological patterning. It's deeply psychological, but also very psychic, but psychic through like being deep in understanding the psychology of things, you know? And its specialty is the subconscious, particularly our shadow. So Pluto is all about like the shadow. In Greek mythology, Pluto is Hades, lord of the underworld. And so if you think of the underworld representing the unconscious, so the underworld is where everything that we are unconscious of ourselves lives, which is like 90% of us of and so what the purpose of Pluto um is to bring revelations of making us conscious of what was previously unconscious. And that can be very intense because when we suddenly are able to see certain truths and become aware of what we are unconscious of, that's a light. That's shining a light. That truth is shining a light into that shadow, into that darkness. And that's where the fear gets triggered. And that's also why Pluto governs death and rebirth, because then that fear is an ego response. And then that ego has to go through a death to accept that truth. And to not accept that truth, then resisting it creates psychological maladies such as like paranoia and secrets and manipulation. um Pluto is very intense. And Pluto is going to be going into Aquarius, and you are totally Leo. So Pluto over the next 20 years is going to oppose every sign that you have in Leo, beginning with your rising sign at 4 degrees, but that's not going to hit until 2025. That will come through 2025. And then like also in 2025, maybe 2026, Pluto will then hit your sun sign in Leo 5 degrees, and then your Saturn in Leo 6 degrees. That's going to be huge. That may trigger significant life events. And then like about maybe 5 years after that, Pluto will oppose your Venus at 16 degrees Leo, and then will oppose your Mercury 19 degrees Leo, and then oppose your moon lastly at 24 degrees Leo. But that opposition to your moon probably won't be until 16 years from now. So Pluto moving through Aquarius very slowly is going to be transforming. Pluto's going to be moving all these planets through the underworld of transformation, rebirth, and purification. So that means your identity is going to be going through a massive crisis and transformation. Like you're going to be going through like some things of deconditioning and reconditioning with your identity, your vitality, your inner authority, your value system, your mind and your communication, and then your emotional process of it all. So over the last 15, should I lose count? 15 years. So for the last 15 years, since 2008, Pluto has been moving through Capricorn, and it's taken a long time for Pluto to reach the end of Capricorn. So, which means that over the last 15 years, the sign that was experiencing the opposite side of Pluto, the Pluto opposition was Cancer. So all of my Cancer clients that I've had over the last years, Cancer suns, Cancer risings, Cancer moons, but specifically Cancer rising people, they they experienced so much shit when Pluto was crossing over their rising sign. But it's like I hope I'm not making this seem like a bad thing, because it's not a bad thing. It's just it triggers a lot of fear, and it brings destruction to things operating in your vibration that aren't true. And it triggers a superpower to be able to quickly regenerate yourself as you are transforming. So it's like it's dying and coming back to life, without actually dying. Um, and so so it can be intense, it especially with when the moon, I mean, when Pluto first reaches that 24-degree point, it's like, boom. It's like Pluto, because Pluto's the ruler of Scorpio, so like it's like a scorpion is going to get a hold of that first house. And because your sun is so close to it, it's your sun is going to feel it and your Saturn is going to feel it. And what Pluto is going to do is it's going to generate this very intense awareness of feeling this pressure that where you feel like you need to follow some kind of role or some kind of mission or like responsibilities, or completely transforming your inner masculine, like your inner father, and how you treat yourself in that direction. So let's see here. So this is the kind of information that I'm going to email to you here soon. I'm going to move forward. Let's see, 2025. Oh, oops. So here, 2027, Pluto at 4 degrees exactly opposite your rising sign. What'd you say? Oh, okay. So Pluto opposite rising sign. So this transit is going to begin February 21st, 2025, and will last until July 21st. Oh no, actually until November 22nd, 2028. So this is how long Pluto is going to be within that 180-degree opposition to your rising sign. And so I'm going to read this to you here. It says, this period of time with Pluto transiting your ascendant is highly significant for you. It is a first, hold on. First, let me ask, is this okay? Are you, there's like, you, okay. So this period of time with Pluto transiting your ascendant is highly significant for you. It is a time when many factors in your life could radically alter. Because Pluto symbolizes the process of decay and change, death and rebirth, significant life changes are almost certain to result. These changes can be quite difficult since most of us tend to cling to our older and more established ways of being and resist the pressure of the new with all our might. But these changes being forced upon you at this time are inevitable and perhaps necessary for your growth as a human being. Sometimes these life changes will manifest more on an internal level, and sometimes outer events may bring them, such as a death in your immediate family or some other radical alteration of your circumstances. These events unfold over time. Often, too, a strong Pluto transit means confronting parts of yourself that you rather not face. And you may be tempted to evade this encounter, but running away from the battle will not help, for eventually you must admit the dark unknown and integrate it with your conscious self if you are to move towards wholeness and peace of mind. So it's really intense, and like the clients that I've had, when this happened for them, it was like a divorce or just like a depression or whatever. Not like, and I'm not trying to say that that's what you have coming for you. The way of well, definitely, because Pluto, for the first time ever in our lifetime, dipped its toes into Aquarius at 0 degrees. And it started with the bang, because while Pluto was at that 0 degree point, Venus went into Leo at 0 degrees in the summer of this year. And when that happened, it spun off like basically the relay race of what the first go around of experiencing Pluto in Aquarius, because for the collective, for the world, Pluto moving through Aquarius is going to be a 20-year process of humanity evolving more consciously and spiritually, and seeking to connect to higher selves, star family, because Aquarius is represents the alien in the zodiac. Every sign in the zodiac, their consciousness is connected to our sun. That's where we get our conscious information, through our sun. But Aquarius, they get their information through other suns in different solar systems. Like, they straight up receive galactic information. But this isn't, and by that I don't mean only Aquarius is, like, we all experience this, but the archetype of what Aquarius represents is super collective consciousness, and its purpose is to connect humanity and evolve. So, but Pluto also representing death and transformation, but also revealing what's been kept hidden and secret. Part of the trend that is synonymous in this human conscious evolution is also government disclosure of all of its alien information and technology that it suppresses. So it's going to be like going hand in hand, that information being released at the same time as evolution is happening, and it's just like going to feed off itself. And the dark parallels with this are like an increase, seeing a technological revolution in like transhumanism and AI, cybernetics with the body, and like crazy ass technology, bro. Crazy ass. We're about to enter a massive fucking technological revolution. We're gonna see so much shit in our lifetime. It's gonna be fucking crazy. And so it's very exciting. It's very, very exciting. But there's some deep intensity that is involved with it, because part of the growth, all the poison needs to come out. And so at the same time, like, another part of what I've been saying Pluto and Aquarius is going to do is it's going to really increase public awareness of how dark the dark web really is, and what kind of mass global connections are actually transactional in the dark web that no one wants to see. So, because Aquarius also governs the internet, because the internet is what connects the whole world, and Aquarius is about connecting the world and evolving consciousness. And so what Pluto does is it reveals what's kept hidden in secret. So, there's light and dark going on with this. But what that also means is, opposite of Aquarius is Leo. So that means all of that Leo energy. So if Aquarius represents connectivity and sources outside of our solar system, Aquarius also represents cold and detached. Whereas Leo, opposite of Aquarius, is the sun. It's our solar system. It's very warm, heart-centered, and connected. Leo is social individual. So Leo is an individual personification of, self-love and self-value, which equates to skill, strength, and courage. And so with Pluto moving through Aquarius, opposing Leo, it's opposing the collective archetype of Leo, which means global confidence, skill, self-esteem, and self-worth. So people are going to be going through, because also Leo is also where ego comes from too. And by that, I don't mean in a bad way. It's just ego is, yeah, great, good. So that is going to be challenged as well, and having to go through a massive transformation. And Leo is also the heart and connectivity. So how we connect through the heart as the personification of our own unique individuality is going to be challenged, because we're going to be moving through massive, cringy, awkward social growth as we are learning how to, it's gonna be strange, man. It's gonna be really strange. And so you being a Leo rising and having this much Leo energy in your first house means that you are like, you are literal representation, bro. You're a little representation of what Leo energy is in its entirety, and that is, it's like, what's the way to say it, you're an instrument of Leo energy, of having a Leo consciousness, a Leo sense of self-mastery and values and integrity, having a Leo Venus of beauty and charm, and a Leo mind of sort of regalness and royalness and loyalty. And then the moon in Leo, just moon in Leo is one of my favorite moon signs, because it's just great. It's just great. I mean, I'm a little stony baloney right now. um, so this is gonna be this is I don't know, like, I can't predict like how it's gonna be, but like, what I can say is Pluto is coming, bro, and you're gonna feel it, and it's gonna be intense, and it's going to transform you in ways you didn't think you'd go through and have to transform through. And but at the same time, like, you may feel like certain parts of you are dying, but you also have the will and the determination to make it through the transformation. Like, this is like, Pluto awakenings are no joke, and that's what this is a massive Pluto awakening through your seventh house, opposing all your Leo energy in your first house. So that's identity and relationships, and how your identity interacts and relates through your interpersonal relationships. It's going to be a trip, bro. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I get it, dude. I've like semi been on the verge of tears here and there, because I like feel so intensely everything you're saying, and looking at this charts, like, one of the things that you reminded me of, for the because you're a Pluto Libra generation, and this whole like new age degeneration stuff, they're gonna be Pluto, either Pluto Scorpio, most likely Pluto Sagittarius generation as the years progress. And Pluto Scorpio is from 84 to 95, and Pluto Sag is from 95 to 2008. And so these are people who are like, we're born with the internet, and just socializing is so different. And you're Pluto Libra, and Libra is the sign of social connections, coming together, beauty, arts, charm, and um, how we have etiquette. Libra is also justice. So Libra is like cordially coming to a court of law to be diplomatic in our engagement over disputes and stuff. So Pluto is like, balance. And Pluto Libra generation, part of what they're here to do is to deconstruct the parts of our social engineering in terms of how we relate to one another, like tear those things apart, but also maintain the pure um value of what um coming together represents. So it's like, basically it's like, being an OG who's like, generation, like, shut the fuck up, like, you're forgetting, this and that and this and that, as we're, moving on. I'm still and yeah, yeah, I'm gonna send you a lot of this stuff, this whole PDF thing. And but bro, I feel you, man. I feel you so hard on all of that you said, and I feel so grateful to be on the phone with you right now to have this connection and this conversation. Like this has been a really amazing and beautiful heart-centered connection, and I appreciate that. And this Pluto thing is intense, and Pluto for the first time entered Aquarius last year from April 2023 to about July or August 2023. Pluto was in Aquarius for 0 degrees at 0 degrees, but then went retrograde back into Capricorn, and Pluto is coming back to move into Aquarius um, in on January 20th. So on January 20th, both the sun and the moon are going to jump into Aquarius together the same day, um, January 20th. And yeah, you're gonna start to feel that because until Pluto reaches closer to 4 degrees and 5 degrees, this is building up in your peripheral. And once Pluto crosses that 4 degree threshold and is directly oppose your rising sign and oppose your sun, because the sun is conscious awareness. So when Pluto reaches that opposition to your sun, you will be so consciously aware of what Pluto is revealing to you in your face. And because it's so close to your identity, it's going to be even more intense because it's going to push a total identity crisis. And like how I was saying before, and how that identity is interwoven with your old paradigm of interpersonal relationships, which means like, yeah, it's you're walking down this here. And then at the same time, so it's not going to be until like few years down the line when Pluto is, so your rising sign is 4 degrees, so Pluto is going to hit that first. Your sun sign is 5 degrees, then it's going to hit that. And then your Saturn is 6 degrees, and then Pluto is going to hit that Saturn. And when Pluto hits that Saturn, like, you're gonna feel, it's gonna trigger it could trigger, like, let me not say you're gonna, like, definitely, but what it could trigger is a very extreme, intense feeling for a mission, a purpose, so it's like you're feeling what that could be right now and resisting it and don't know, and there are things in your mind that are inhibiting things, like you identifying yourself as the white man, and like you don't want to be another white savior, and so that's the fear. So there's the fear of what you're afraid of, and it's rejection of what you reject, and the shit that you don't like to see, and of that, you just don't want to fit that, I get what, you know what I mean. And so that's Pluto right there, the a fear. But then, like, also you're seeing so clearly in things in your surroundings, in your environments, in terms of like social gatherings and stuff like that. And the world is changing, and there's a lot of things going on, and it's just, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying not to get all preachy, because at the same time I'm like still stony baloney here, but but uh so, because the reason why I'm saying that is because Saturn represents authority. So your Saturn in Leo makes you an authority of the heart and creativity and expression and courage, skill, and strength, because these are the qualities that Leo represents. And you feel that responsibility so hard, like you said earlier, like, I'm tired of being this, fulfillment for the party, for the good vibes, to make other people feel good and stuff like that. And so you feel that your whole life to go that hard to create a good time, because that's what Leo is. And remember, when I was outside, I was saying, like, bottom line, Leo wants others to feel good, as they want to feel good for themselves. So Saturn is responsibility. Saturn is authority and integrity. And so your Saturn in Leo is on your sun sign in Leo, and the sun is consciously aware. So to have Saturn on your sun means you are hyper, super consciously aware of what you feel responsible for as an archetypal instrument for the energies of Leo. And, so, and then not only that, but it's also on top of your rising sign, which means that is your identity. That's your entire being, bro. And like you embody it so fucking hard, like, and not even all consciously. The last time I saw you, you were wearing that fucking awesome tie-dye shirt with the lion and the bees, and you're like, I love lions, I love bees, I love flowers. Look at my phone, I take pictures, and like I'm year of the dragon, I'm just fire and awesome, and like fuck yeah, you know. And that's what I've always loved about you from first day I met you back in Joshua Tree, you know. And so you also have Venus there, which the Venus adds the charm, as the aesthetic, as that glisten in your eyes, you know. And then you have the Mercury, which adds the voice, the mind, and the communication style. And then you have the moon there, which adds the true creme de la crop touch of Leo sense of loyalty and connection and compassion and total devotion to what is connected to the heart, because Leo is the heart, and having a moon in Leo, the emotions are deeply connected to the heart. So as you being such a, this is your weakness too, because is the heart. Leo is the heart. And so you have so much heart stuff here that this Pluto moving through Aquarius can start triggering some, you know, a lot of heart things that are both 3D and connected to what's happening quantumly. And so moon in the heart, your emotions are like deeply connected right there and entangled with all of that. And the other thing that's going to be happening when Pluto is in Aquarius is it's also going to be directly squaring your Uranus in Scorpio, and then eventually will be trining your natal Pluto in Libra. So like, yeah, the Pluto square to your Uranus is going to help you through pressure, push through your boundaries of what's holding you back from being free and spontaneous. Basically, yeah. I think I'm gonna dial it down. That's a lot, man. No, never, no. Mm-mm. Definitely not. Definitely not. And your north node is in Scorpio. So that means your south node is in Taurus, and the north and south node, that's the south node is the past lives, and also the accumulation of your soul's karma from all your past life experiences. And the north node is the future, it's destiny, it's the unknown, it's the unfamiliar, and it's also fate. And so having a north node in Scorpio means that your south node is in Taurus, which means you've lived a lot of lifetimes like in Taurus energy themes, which means you had to be heavily self-reliant, and you had to work very hard to accomplish anything, or you had to work through a lot of struggles and rely on yourself to make it through those struggles. So that's part of your karma with South Node in Taurus, is living that life. But the superpower in having South Node in Taurus is having like unyielding stamina and strength, but also stubbornness. And this, so the North Node in Scorpio, the joke that's within the astrology community is that North Node Scorpio babies are born wearing 20 pairs of pants and 10 coats and like multiple hats. And that's a joke saying that they're born carrying all their baggage from their past life because they hold on to it because they're so stubborn. And the Taurus is the bull, you know. And so having North Node in Scorpio is the destiny, what's unfamiliar and what's uncomfortable. The destiny for you is trusting other people and trusting them so close to letting them into your heart. That's the unfamiliar. That's that. And North Node in Scorpio. Remember, Scorpio is sort of secretive, just sly, just sort of wants to be behind the scenes. So that Scorpios is, that's the mask kind of a thing. So it's like, and the other thing is that the part of what North Node Scorpio people are correcting is realizing that they don't have to do it the hard way anymore. And that's the other thing, is because they're born so heavily self-reliant that when as they live their life, they tend to already have an automatic way of how they're going to do it, even if it's a hard way and there's an easier way. And so part of why North Node Scorpio needs to learn how to let people in and trust them is because those people are here to help them figure out how not to do it so hard anymore. And so the gift that you have with the North Node in Scorpio is you actually have an ability to just tune into someone's energy and feel their intentions, their purest intentions. And you have to trust that, and the ones that you can feel are with you with pure intention, and those are the ones that you're supposed to help, and they'll help you as well. So that's how it works with the North Node in Scorpio.
Uh,
Mhm.
uh, 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 uh,
Holy shit, man. That was so intense. Wow. Damn, I'm tripping right now, dude. It just blew me away, man. That was so wild. Oh my gosh. It it feels also so literal. Like what if this is the karma you've been dealing with your father for many, 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 many lifetimes, and this is the one lifetime where like you close that chapter and all, and then but also like on top, like mixed with everything that you said, and like so you remember how I was telling you it's like how what Saturn represents, like authority, and Saturn is authority, rules, discipline, and structure. So Saturn represents father, but also grandfather, and Leo represents children. Leo comes from the fifth house, and Leo in the fifth house is children. So you've had Saturn, which is Saturn. Saturn does represent either very overbearing, authoritative masculine figure or lack of thereof, and 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 so having that on top of your sun in Leo and your rising sign in Leo, and Leo being the sign of the child from the fifth house, children, love, expression, creativity, like that's, and then your Saturn is forms a T square to your north node and your south node, and that's an intense T square to have. This isn't something that this Saturn T squaring north and south node is something that's not for the faint of heart. It is intense. It's called a skip step. And what that means is that this individual in this lifetime is here to skip over a lot of massive steps that would normally take people lifetimes to figure out. And so they had, people, so you have the Saturn squaring your north and south node, which is, you know, you've gone through so many life experiences and grown so much in this lifetime, because because remember, the north and south node represents the past and the future. South node is karma and the accumulation of karma and from past lives, and then the north node is the unknown, the future, and fate. And having a south node in Taurus, like you've lived so many lifetimes having to work super hard, and like the way you described that vision in that dream, in that ceremony of the seasons, and like going to a granite quarry and not even having tools, like having to use rocks and like having to do it the most hardest fucking way that you could do it for lifetimes. Like that's exactly what what a South Node Taurus represents, is like that hard work, and unmovable. You didn't move anywhere except from that position. That's that bull stubbornness, and having a North Node Scorpio means, that joke I said, North Node Scorpio people are born wearing 12 pairs of pants and several coats and hats, because they're bringing all the baggage from their lifetimes. And so your Saturn squares your south node and your north node, which means that Saturn, that energy of rules, authority, structures, traditions, and also karma, but also father and grandfather energy squaring your north and south node. And like I this is massive masculine karma here, and I say that because that's the way for me to say it generically, like is, authority is dealing with masculine authority, and it's not always so literal like how you experience directly with father, and yeah, it's just this is totally your karma, bro. That one of the biggest aspects of your karma was this with your father, and like I mean, I this it's your experience. I can't say much more other than it's oh, on how you activate how you how you actualize self realize and activate and come online. And I love what you received from that reader of your Akashic record being a watcher, because that's what I was trying to say, trying to reference the other astrologer is you are watching, and you are watching, a new generation like come about, and like you like there's this like sense of authority, like, and gatekeeping that you carry, you know and this next generation, like, they didn't live like you lived, you know what I mean? They grew up completely different, and yes, they had their own lives, but they grew up in with internet and social media, like you, I mean, you're experiencing social media, but like compared to like them, like, and younger folks, like, who's like what, 23 or 24, you know most of his life he's had social media. Most of your life you've had not social media, you know what I mean? So there's a huge deep psychological difference in the younger generation and the older generation. And there's AI, bro. There's AI and algorithms, and like there's things that are trying to move through the back doors of the younger generation as we are developing in this new social construct, you know what I mean? And it's like, and like what you said earlier, like this whole new age spiritualism stuff and everything. And I totally love that watcher, because I see that, and that's um like I see you awakening, more into what what's coming, into your forefront, and like the transformation that's required of it. Because like, so like, for example, I keep getting the vision of you pulling cards for the girl, and I'm seeing you like mastering the tarot, and but mastering it and how to explain it in your own unique way that carries your entire life's wisdom, that no one else can deliver it. But you just, because people, you've been around, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can connect, and like, and just the way that you like, I just see you like being able to just use the tarot as a medium and a bridge to create that invitation to other folks, and or everybody, but even younger generation, and how to deliver you know information to them, you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. And then, like, yeah, and also, I also want to compliment you on for like, because when you were saying again, like, how the woman who gave you the reading was like being a watcher, and how you were saying you just watch everybody. And I knew that from after the first time I met you, like, towards the end of that Joshua Tree event that where we were at, and you were like, yeah, let's go over here. And then last minute, you were like, Bufo. And I was like, all right, let's go. After the math, like, I kept going back to that moment, and I realized, like, wow, I think he was listening to me in a way that no one else could listen to me, that I wasn't even trying to communicate. And he knew I fucking needed this, like, I was, like, I felt like I was crying in a way, like my spirit was crying in a way, and you heard that, and you connected with me, and like, so kindly invited me back here to have this experience that really was a catalyst for me to like go on a rapid spiral through a lot of other Bufo experiences after that huge, man, huge. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was awesome, man. That was really awesome. But I'm yeah, yeah.